Picture this. You wake up one morning and discover that the internet has completely shut down. No, it's not a dream or a particularly cruel prank. It's reality. The World Wide Web, the global network that has become as essential as the air we breathe, is no more. At first, the shock is palpable. You rub your eyes, pinch your arm, and even give your router a good old-fashioned smack, hoping it's just a minor glitch, a temporary hiccup. But the dreaded no connection symbol persists, and it slowly begins to sink in that this is not just your local Wi-Fi having a bad day. This is a planet-wide blackout. The disbelief is followed by a wave of frustration. Morning routines are thrown into disarray. The quick email check while sipping on your coffee? Impossible. The mindless scroll through social media to catch up on what friends and celebrities have been up to? Not happening. The live stream of your favorite morning news? Forget about it. It's not just the personal routines that are affected. Think about the millions of businesses that rely on the internet for their daily operations. The online meetings, the digital transactions, the cloud-based services, all of them come to a screeching halt. And let's not forget about the students who are now staring at blank screens, unable to access their online classes or submit their assignments. The researchers who can't reach the vast digital libraries they need for their work. The doctors who can't access patient records or consult with their colleagues halfway across the globe. The world, in the blink of an eye, seems to have regressed by decades. It's like waking up in a time when the word online had no meaning, when streaming was something rivers did, and tweets were just bird chatter. So you've now entered a world without internet. What happens next might surprise you. Suddenly you can't send a quick text or make a Skype call. Communication as we know it has changed. The internet has woven itself so intricately into our lives that it's hard to imagine a day without it. But what if, one day it just stopped? What if the World Wide Web, this vast digital network that connects us all, simply went dark? In this internetless world, our interpersonal communications would undergo a drastic change. The immediacy we've become accustomed to, sending a quick text, firing off an email or posting a status update, would be gone. Imagine, no more instant messages, no more video calls, no more social media updates. It's a daunting thought, isn't it? But fear not, for humans are adaptable creatures. We would find ways to reconnect, to share our thoughts, our feelings, our experiences. Indeed, we might see a return to more traditional forms of communication. Remember landline phones? You know, those old school devices with the curly cords that you'd use to call your friends after school? Well, in an internetless world, they might just become our go-to means of long-distance communication once again. And what about letters? Yes, actual physical letters, not the electronic kind. Imagine receiving a handwritten letter from a friend or loved one, the kind of communication that takes time, thought, and effort. It's personal, it's tangible, and it's something that can be treasured forever. This could be the norm in a world without the internet. Face-to-face conversations would also regain their importance. We'd have more opportunities to connect on a deeper level, to truly engage with each other, instead of being distracted by our screens. This shift in communication wouldn't be easy, of course. It would require patience, effort, and a willingness to slow down. But perhaps in this slower pace, we'd find a certain charm and intimacy that's often lost in our fast-paced digital world. So as we navigate this hypothetical scenario, remember this. Even without the internet, we'd find ways to communicate, to connect, to share our stories. After all, we're social creatures at heart. The art of letter writing might just make a comeback in this internetless world. The business world has come to a grinding halt. No emails, no online transactions, no cloud storage. Imagine, if you will, a world where our trusted ally, the internet, suddenly disappears. The immediate impact would be felt by businesses across the globe. Every sector, from e-commerce and IT services to digital marketing, would be hit hard. The digital economy, that we've come to rely on so heavily, would be in a state of paralysis. E-commerce giants whose entire existence revolves around the internet would find their operations stunted. No more online orders, no more digital payments, no more next-day deliveries. The convenience of online shopping that we've grown accustomed to would become a thing of the past. Then there are IT services. Companies that provide support to businesses around the world through cloud-based platforms would face a hard truth. Without the internet, there's no cloud. The data stored on these platforms, the software that runs on them, everything would be inaccessible. Digital marketing would face a similar fate. Those catchy ads that pop up on your social media feeds, the tailored recommendations that lead you to your next purchase, they'd all vanish. Businesses would lose their most effective tool for reaching their target audience. But it's not all doom and gloom. In this internetless world, businesses would be forced to adapt, to find offline alternatives. Perhaps we'd see a resurgence of brick-and-mortar stores, a revival of print advertising. Maybe businesses would start investing more in face-to-face customer service, in building real, human connections. This new reality would push businesses to become more innovative, more resourceful. They'd have to rethink their strategies, reinvent their operations. It would be challenging, no doubt, but it would also be an opportunity. An opportunity to slow down, to reassess, to reconnect with the basics. Businesses would have to become innovative and resourceful to survive in this new reality. No Netflix, no online gaming, no YouTube. Entertainment takes on a whole new meaning. Picture this. You're sitting in your living room. The internet has just gone out. You look at your phone, your laptop, your smart TV, and it dawns on you. All your usual sources of entertainment are out of commission. So what do? Well, you might just find yourself reaching for that dusty old board game tucked away in the attic, or that novel you've been meaning to read for months but never quite got around to because, well, internet. You might even take a stroll down memory lane with a deck of cards. Or if you're feeling particularly adventurous, you could dust off that old guitar and strum a few chords. Now let's take this a step further. Imagine this scenario playing out in households across the globe. Families are gathering around dining tables for a game of Monopoly or Scrabble. Friends are meeting up for a game of basketball or a bike race. People are becoming reacquainted with the joy of outdoor activities, from hiking to picnics, from gardening to stargazing. This shift from digital to traditional forms of entertainment wouldn't just change the way we spend our free time. It could also bring us closer together. The internet, while a powerful tool, often isolates us in our own little digital worlds. But without it, we would be forced to reconnect with the people and the world around us. We'd spend more time talking, laughing, and simply being together. We'd rediscover the joy of shared experiences, of face-to-face interactions, and of living in the moment. And who knows, we might even find that we like it. We might find that we enjoy the simplicity, the authenticity, the realness of these old school forms of entertainment. We might realize that life, even without the internet, can still be full of fun, laughter, and shared joy. So, if the internet were to suddenly disappear, would we be bored? Perhaps at first, but then we'd adapt, we'd innovate, we'd rediscover old joys and find new ones. And we might just find ourselves thinking, who knew life could still be fun without the internet? Living without the internet might sound like a nightmare, but it could also have its benefits. Imagine a world where face-to-face interactions take precedence over virtual ones. A world where we are not constantly tethered to our devices, but rather engaged with the people and environment around us. In this world, we would be less dependent on technology for social interaction, and instead rediscover the art of conversation. We'd have the chance to reconnect with nature, spending more time outdoors and less time staring at screens. Who knows? We might even see a revival of traditional outdoor games and sports. This lack of internet could also lead to a significant decrease in online bullying. With no online platforms to hide behind, individuals would bear more responsibility for their words and actions. The absence of such platforms could also mean a reduction in privacy concerns. No longer would we need to worry about our personal information being misused or stolen. No more anxiety over that questionable post from your teenage years resurfacing during a job interview. The world without internet could potentially foster a newfound appreciation for offline hobbies and pastimes. Libraries might see a resurgence as people turn to books for information and entertainment. And who knows, we might all become a bit more innovative and creative, finding new ways to entertain ourselves and stay connected. But let's not forget about the potential for increased self-reliance. Without the ability to Google everything, we might become better problem solvers, relying more on our own knowledge and abilities. We might rediscover the joy of learning through experience, rather than through a YouTube tutorial. Of course, this is not to say that the internet doesn't have its merits. It has brought about unprecedented levels of connectivity and accessibility to information. But it's always intriguing to imagine how life would change if we were to go back to basics. Remember, this is all hypothetical, but it's always interesting to imagine how life would change without the internet.